Force users and fellow superheroes, what is up? It's Jasmine, the Ahsoka Tano fan, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's time for another episode of Loki. We're on episode 4 now, which means we're more than halfway through the season. Obviously, in the last episode, I think I gave it a 7 out of 10. After thinking about it more, I've had a week to process and I've read your comments, and I think I might have to revise my rating a little bit. I'm probably gonna have to give it a 6 out of 10 actually. I know. Don't hate me. But the thing is, it wasn't a bad episode. It was kind of just okay for me. I did mention in my last video that there were a couple things I wasn't so crazy about. I did expect Sylvie to kind of be handled differently, her character. As I said, I kind of expected her to be a little bit more serious / intimidating, quiet, cold, calculated, sort of like, as I mentioned before, Viper from Wolverine, or even Hela from Thor Ragnarok. This is like a non-MCU comparison, but Camilla from Queen of the South, kind of just, you know, very serious, kind of like you're not quite sure what they're thinking, what they're planning, but you know they're up to something. She definitely is obviously the more serious of the two Lokis, right? She's the one that's trying to take down the TVA, and so I kind of expected her persona to live up to that, and I'm not quite sure it did for me personally. I don't know, you guys might feel differently, that's fine. I know a lot of people do like Sylvie, and they did have some kind of playful banter. Sometimes it was kind of humorous to watch, but nonetheless, I mean, things could change. We still have, you know, more episodes to go. We know that there were a couple reveals last episode, most notably with the TVA being made up of variants, which is something I joked about early on in my reaction videos. I think it was the first or second episode, which was that how did the TVA not know that they're not variants? Lo and behold, Sylvie basically revealed to us that they are in fact variants. Will Loki give Mobius this information? And if so, what will Mobius do with it? Will he side with the TVA? Or as some of you pointed out, will he potentially work with both Lokis here, Sylvie and Loki, against the TVA in the end? I think that seems most likely the more that I think of it. But yeah, and there's lots of questions as to whether or not the timekeepers are even real as well, and whether or not Ravonna might know more than what she's letting on as well. She definitely seems to have the most power that we've seen thus far in this series. We know the last episode left off on a cliffhanger, and they're still on Lamentis, and we have to figure out how they're going to get off Lamentis, so hopefully this episode picks up right where the last one left off. It's not looking too good for them so far, so probably my guess is somehow the TVA and, you know, Mobius are gonna find them through their tracking of different apocalyptic events and then bring them back to the TVA. So they're probably gonna get captured somehow, and that's how they're gonna end up being rescued from Lamentis, because it doesn't look like they have many other options as far as getting off the planet. Some of you pointed out to a good point, which was that it's also possible Loki might be kind of fooling Sylvie a little bit, kind of playing dumb and making her think that he doesn't know as much as he does, all the while trying to secretly extract information from her, right? Because we know that scene on the train, Sylvie actually fell asleep. She kind of dozed off and then she woke up to Loki dancing. And so it's possible that was not done by accident on the writer's part, and that Loki actually had her under some spell or used that moment to extract some information from her. And it's possible that the temp pad is also not broken as Loki claims it is. So yeah, there's definitely lots to figure out still, guys. I don't want to speculate too much. Let's jump right into the episode now and let's see what's in store for us. Also, a small disclaimer, we're having some work done on our alarm system, so you might hear some beeping every now and then. Oh yeah, see that meeting between Mobius and Ravonna? He said, "You're not the only analyst working for me." And remember that scene where there was multiple rings on the table? As if there had been multiple Mobiuses there, like different variants. Yep, how are they gonna get out of that one? Yay, my theme again. It's obviously not Lamentis. Oh, this is Asgard? So is the TVA gone there or something? Wait, that little girl, is that Sylvie? I think right? Is that how she was taken or something like that? She's dressed like Loki. She's got black hair, not the blonde hair. The TVA is so evil, man. Oh, the same guy we saw at the beginning. Wow. Oh, she's rebellious. What did she do? Oh. Damn, they just let her get away with it like that? So she wants revenge, I guess. Maybe. Oh, looks like she's on Lamentus. Or is she... Are we gonna see the timekeepers right now? Oh. Okay, are they real or are they just like statues? I want to go back to that scene. Who's Hunter C20, guys? Enchanted. Who is that? Like Sif or something? Lady Sif? Because I know in the comics, Loki took her body over, right? And then became Lady Loki? Huh. Either way, I think like that's the next big reveal for sure. Probably find out who it is this episode. Oh, that's the shot from the trailer where we thought it might have been Natasha at first. They look pretty defeated right now.
The TVA showed up just to try.
That's deep, yeah.
Now?
Wow. That was a really good conversation, actually. So the universe wants to break free, so it manifests chaos. I love hearing her perspective of it, because the TVA makes it seem like they're correcting everything, and for her, she's being hunted, right? That conversation made me like Sylvie a lot more, actually. That's kind of what I wanted to see more of the first time. Just her backstory and like how she became how she is now. Oh shit. That is horrifying to look at. Damn. This whole moment was better than the last episode. So I guess because they're joining hands, like they're setting off a greater amount of energy, I guess. Whoa. That reminds me of the end of Rogue One, kind of. Damn.
By the way, I should have an equal amount of security. This is insulting. He betrayed dopey insult from the folks he knows.
What is that?
You'll see. It's lying to you.
Tell him, Loki, tell him. No, I gotta tell him more than that.
Seriously?
Oh, maybe he can't leave that circle, though, or something. Sif!
I hope you know you deserve to be alone, and you always will be.
Why is she beating him up? Oh, because he took over her body? I don't know. Sorry, I'm just like spewing things out. Oh, she's gonna keep doing it? Oh my gosh. Damn.
You cannot.
Oh, poor Loki. Oh my god.
Okay.
She's gonna knee him again. Poor Loki. Oh my gosh.
Nobody speaks with that variant.
Well, it's personal for her, I guess. There's something going on with her and the timekeepers. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it yet, but yeah. But she doesn't know that she's the variant, though. The only person that would probably know is Ravonna, I guess. But she was also one of the hunters before when Sylvie was taken. So this event, I guess, really happened in his past, and they just keep replaying it. See, with Loki, it's so hard to tell when he's actually being honest versus trying to trick the person. But I think here I'm sensing some honesty. Don't beat him up again. Come on, please. Is she gonna come back again? It's so ironic she said you're alone, because Loki, of all people, has so many variants of himself, but like, yet he's alone. Like, that's kind of almost a contradictory statement. He's gonna say she's working for him.
She's difficult, and around immediately afterwards and prune me.
Yeah, exactly.
Reached a dead end then. Lady Sif. No, what? No, please don't. Wait.
Mobius, you're being annoying right now.
Yeah, somewhere together. Picture this.
Why are you lying?
Along very nicely, thank you.
What if he's trying to protect her?
There, already been pruned. So assume I do say.
He's BSing.
Wait,
No, I don't believe that.
Superior Loki. I would have bet on her, but
They would not have just killed her off like that, right? I'm sorry for what I said about you, Sylvie. If that's the case.
good riddance.
He's crying. Damn. He's BSing. I knew it.
Especially you, forming this kind of sick, risky romantic.
So I was not imagining
pure chaos.
the sexual tension between the two of them, but they're also like siblings.
For yourself. Her name was Sylvie.
He's not wrong about that.
Is she alive?
Yeah, stop BSing around the question.
You've already told about 50 lies.
Oh my gosh, would you shut up and listen, Mobius? Piss me off now.
You're your female self. You have some dimension. Rule variance.
Thank you. You finally said it, Loki. There we go. There we go. I'm so happy he finally told Mobius that. I think he knows deep down it could be true. Your mistake, Mobius.
All the liars say the lies you tell yourself.
Facts. Something's up with her, I feel like. Oh wait, he said that Sylvie can access those memories when she enchants you. She went into her mind too, right? She's gonna talk to Sylvie, isn't she?
Hello.
This is how I wanted Sylvie to be in the last episode. You see what I mean? She's like a little intimidating.
Come with me.
Oh, where's she taking her? What's he signing?
You okay?
Don't tell Ravonna what Loki told you. Wait, hang on. C20. Is that the girl that Sylvie, like the whole brain freeze thing? Huh, because she went into her mind, right? Does that mean that her mind's messed up now? Unless they pruned her. And they're not letting him interrogate Sylvie. Okay, now I'm starting to think that they might have pruned her. Because maybe like when Sylvie accessed those memories, she started to remember too much about her life before the TVA, so they pruned her or something? She's up to something. And I'm not even sure that she talks to the so-called timekeepers. Because it's so hidden. You can tell Mobius is getting is a little bit curious now. He's gonna do something. He didn't. Nope, he did not. Good thinking, Mobius. I think she might be onto him though. Oh shit, she's spilling the tea. Oh, so we're gonna get to see her life now. I'm almost positive C20 is the other girl now, I think. That was my bad. Sometimes when they use numbers, I don't always know who they're referring to. Names I'm better at. Damn. She cannot let Ravonna know that she knows that much because they'll probably end up pruning her. They probably pruned C20 because she remembered too much. What's he gonna find? Deceased. That's C20. Okay. Loki's right. He's finding that out now. And she was saying, oh, she couldn't even form sentences by the end. She's a whole ass liar. Poor Loki. Oh my gosh.
So we better understand.
He's working with them now. Aww.
You're right.
Oh shit, he was right. Uh-oh. She knows. Shit.
I think you have some.
Oh no.
Wherever does I'm really from.
Oh no, don't say that. You're gonna get pruned.
Maybe a jet ski.
Jet ski. What if Mobius dies?
Prune him.
No! Oh my gosh, that's exactly what they're doing. Oh my gosh. Oh shit. Please tell me there's other Mobiuses. Because there are multiple rings still from the beer glasses. Remember? In Ravonna's office? Wow. Oh my gosh. B15 is gonna do something. B15, sorry. Oh my gosh, these people are brutal. B15, girl, you better come to the rescue. Is she taking him to the timekeeper? Fucking prune Mobius. Are you kidding me right now? Just as he was coming to the light, just about to work with Loki. What a bitch. Can't they just like beat her up right now or something? No. Okay, now we're gonna see if the timekeepers are real. Okay, they are real.
At last, you've arrived before us. Lost track of the number of times I've been killed. So go ahead. Do your worst.
Is she in a loop or something? Something's going on. B-15. Yes, 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 yes. B-15. B-15's the goat. I hope she doesn't die though. Oh, come on, girl. Come on, come on, come on. So do their powers work now that they don't have that collar on? Or as long as they're within the TVA facility, that it's not going to work? So it's going to be the two Lokis and B-15 against the TVA since Mobius got pruned. And this is like some lightsaber duel or something. Yo, kill these floating timekeepers, man. Kill them right now. Oh. But are they even... So they're just like robots? The real timekeepers are elsewhere. Or is it just one person controlling all three of those robots? I don't know. Okay. Or were they never... Because, you know, I was going to actually say in my review, but I felt like their appearance was super underwhelming. And that's because they're not the real timekeepers. Where did Ravonna go?
I have to tell you something.
Don't tell me Loki created the TVA or something. The temp pad wasn't really broken. I can't tell if he's going to tell her something big or confess his love for her or something. Like, spit it out. He loves it? Or is that real? What? Did she just prune Loki? And I just asked you, where's Ravonna? Wait, what the hell just happened? Okay, so obviously they have to get Loki back. I'm not even concerned about that. They gotta deal with Ravonna. She's like so evil. So they prune C20. They prune Mobius. Prune Loki. So how's this gonna end? Like, she's gonna have to get Loki back somehow. And they have to find out who's really running the TVA. I mean, I think Ravonna is more involved than she lets on. But it could be like what we're discussing before, guys, which is that Kang could be the one running everything. Okay, I guess I should fast forward, make sure there's no end credits. There's an end credits scene. That's why I always fast forward.
Is it hell?
Hell? Like Hela? Is that Odin? Who's that voice?
But you will be.
Sorry, I'm tripping. Who is that? Are those Loki variants? Sorry, why did I think it was Odin? I'm tripping. Because the subtitle said, is this hell? But they spelled it H-E-L. So I'm like, you know, Hela spelled H-E-L-A. That's what I thought. I just want Hela back, to be honest with you. It looked like there was a bunch of Loki variants there. I'm not sure where they were, though. He said, is this hell? Am I dead? Not yet, but you will be if you don't come with us. So they're going to somehow help him get back into the timeline, I'm guessing. I definitely am intrigued now. I feel like we're going to have some type of big event with all the Lokis versus the TVA. That's kind of what it's leading towards. Some type of NEXUS event. Maybe that's why the episode's called NEXUS event. But they also did say that there was some type of NEXUS event that they're trying to find out more about, which I'm still wondering about because I thought what they saw on the timeline was just like a surge of energy because Sylvie and Loki joined hands, and I thought that that's what created that change in the timeline. So let's talk about the episode, guys. So that was really well done. That was much better than the last one. I know I kind of had some words for the last one in the beginning of the video, especially with Sylvie, but I definitely think Sylvie was much better in this episode, without a doubt. Her mannerisms were kind of different. Even when she was in the cell, she kind of had that look, I don't know, almost like that kind of like devilish look to her, like she was up to something, which is perfectly fitting because she's supposed to be like a mixture of, you know, a Lady Loki / enchantress kind of person. She enchants people, so I kind of expect her to have that sort of witchy, like devilly vibe. But at the same time, we saw so many moments of vulnerability with her in this episode, even from the first conversation that her and Loki had at the beginning. as they're about to die, we got to hear a little bit about what her life was like before the TVA intruded upon it. It just paints a vastly different picture than the one that the TVA painted at the beginning, which was that, oh, we've got this hooded figure and she's killing all of our men and blah, blah, blah. But no, in actuality, they took her from her life and told her she wasn't supposed to exist, and they've been hunting her down ever since. And I love that conversation, as I said, between her and Loki. She said something very interesting, which was that something along the lines of the universe tries to break free so it manifests chaos. That's basically what Loki, or Lokis, I should say, are about, right? They definitely thrive in chaos. They create and cause mischief, and that's what Sylvie and Loki both have in common. In a sense, what she's almost saying with that line is that as a Loki, she's always been trying to break free. And that's what Loki, Tom Hiddleston says as well, which is that Lokis lose sometimes painfully, but we always survive, right? They're always trying to break free, always trying to survive. So that was just like a really good exchange I found there, and definitely made me like Sylvie like so much more. She's just really a compelling character now, because she was kind of first painted as this villain, and then now we're getting to see this side of her. No, and in fact, she's actually just trying to rebel against this evil organization. And she's also not only doing that, but trying to free the members within the organization, such as B-15, such as C-20. And my bad about that, by the way. I didn't realize initially who C-20 was till later. Sometimes when they use numbers, as I was saying, it's kind of hard to know who they're referring to. I'm better with names typically. And then we also had an appearance by Lady Sif there, which was nice. I wonder if that's kind of a nod to the comics, because we know in the comics that Loki took over Lady Sif's body, and then that is who became Lady Loki. That's not the case in this series, but I wonder if that's why they had her show up as kind of a nod to that. But during that exchange, that time loop, she continually told Loki basically that he was pathetic and worthless and he deserved to be alone and all these things. And then Loki almost seemed to kind of be really humbled by it, and I guess was forced to reflect on his past life and everything that he's done, I guess, and why he's done those things. It was almost ironic though, because as much as they're saying that, oh, Loki is supposed to be alone, and Mobius asked him, do you believe you're supposed to be alone? He has so many different variants of himself, as we're seeing and as we saw in the end credits scene. So ironically, like, he is the last person who's alone. He has so many different versions of himself, right? So it was kind of there's a little bit of irony in that scene, but nonetheless, yeah, it was great to see Lady Sif, and I like that whole scene. And then Mobius, of course, that was really sad. See, at first he didn't believe Loki when Loki told him about the TVA, and it's kind of understandable, because it's kind of like what I had said during my reaction as well, which was that sometimes you can't tell if Loki's actually being honest and vulnerable with you, or if he is trying to trick you. And I think that's intentional. That's kind of how Loki is. You don't always know what he's planning, if he has some type of ulterior motive. So I guess Mobius has that guard up a little bit, but then, you see him question Ravonna in her office, and then he starts to suspect it more and more, right? Just as he's obviously getting ready to work with Loki and bring down the TVA, he gets pruned. And that just shows kind of what we suspected all along, which was that the TVA are really cold-blooded, and they are trying to make light of what they're doing through their propaganda, which we saw in earlier episodes, and really what they're doing is evil, and they're erasing people from the timeline, taking people from their lives, wiping them of their memories, and if they try and do anything about it, then they just become erased from existence. And so we really saw that in this episode with C-20 and with Mobius. And Ravonna, she seems to have the most power, most control here, and she continues to tell him, you're my favorite analyst. And we know in another episode that there were many rings left by glasses that Mobius put on her table there, right?
Mobius.
What? Those rings are already there.
That's actually, I think, in the credits as well, one of the pictures they show. And I just wonder if that's hinting at more than one Mobius, right? Multiple Mobius variants. Perhaps in the past she's had other variants and she's had to prune other ones, but then this Mobius variant up until this episode was her favorite analyst, and that's why, you know, she works with him and trusts him. But then now that he's found out too much, she's had to prune him. So will she bring in another Mobius now? I kind of wonder what that's about, because either way, those rings imply that he has set that cup down many times before. So either means that he's had many meetings with her, or there have been many variants of Mobius. He and Loki have kind of been on opposite ends, you could say. So far in the series, they've kind of been playing tricks with each other. You never know who's trying to one-up who, and then they finally get on the same page, and Loki even calls him his friend, right? And establishes that trust, only for him to get pruned. So that was an emotional scene, I would say. And he mentioned the jet ski too. I know you guys are sad about the jet ski. Everyone wanted to see Loki and Mobius on the jet ski. And so they definitely added that touch just to kind of tug on our heartstrings a little bit more. Ravonna definitely knows more than she's letting on, I think. She said, oh yeah, I gotta talk to the timekeepers. Nobody had ever seen them. She's the only one that says she talks to them, and she's saying, you know, we're all created by the timekeepers. So whoever is running the TVA, she's definitely in league with them, and they are in on it in terms of continuing to perpetuate this lie to everyone else that they're created by the timekeepers. But I think Ravonna might know the truth, possibly. But then they also had that flashback with Sylvie as a kid, and she was one of the Minutemen at that time. So does that imply that she is just a variant like everybody else? Or maybe she's a variant like everyone else and she knows that truth, but she's fine with it because of the position she has in the TVA. She definitely seems like the top person who knows the most, and everyone listens to her. We finally got to see the timekeepers, and my first thought during my reaction was that, wow, they look really underwhelming and totally not scary at all. When we first saw her go into the room, I thought, oh, are those statues are real people? But it turns out they were androids, and it just again kind of plays into this idea that you don't really know what to believe in this series. Everything is an illusion, just like Loki and Sylvie, like their magic and their powers. Everything is chaotic and an illusion within the TVA. Who is running this thing? Are the timekeepers elsewhere? Is it Kang, as some of you have mentioned before? Or is it a variant of Loki somehow? Is Ravonna doing it herself? She definitely has some type of personal vendetta against Sylvie, it looks like, because Sylvie made her basically look kind of stupid and humiliated her when she escaped in the first place. So maybe this is her trying to get back at Sylvie and redeem herself. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, something is going on. There's a lot of unknowns here. We've now kind of gotten to the bottom of the TVA deep dark mystery, which I talked about in previous episodes, symbolized by Loki, you know, physically descending levels, going down the elevator with Mobius, getting stripped down and put into this prison uniform. He was descending levels physically, and now he physically descended so low that we have discovered this deep dark secret within the TVA, which is that everybody is variants and they had previous lives elsewhere. So now that we're at the bottom, now we have to figure out who is at the very top here and who is running things. That is the next big mystery here. It's like we know everything and nothing at the same time. Everyone who we think could be bad ends up, you know, being good or somewhere in between. Like someone like Sylvie, Ravonna didn't seem bad in the beginning, and now we're kind of seeing this different side of her that definitely makes her look like the villain. B-15 kind of was almost acting like a villain in the beginning, but also just kind of doing her job, and now we're seeing her more vulnerable. We even saw Sylvie access her memories as well. We didn't get to see what the memories were, and I think that's very powerful because it leaves it up to our imagination, right? We see her get emotional and say, I was happy, so we're kind of left to wonder what her life was like beforehand, right? And just like the show, everything is kind of up to the imagination. So I think that scene was kind of powerful. Even though we didn't get to see B-15's past life and her memories, we could kind of just imagine it and feel it. So it's kind of more impactful that way. Overall, really good episode. I think I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10 actually. It showed us a lot. We still have some lingering questions. As I said, who's running the TVA? What is this NEXUS event that they're referring to? And what role are the Lokis gonna play going into this? How are they gonna get our Loki back into the timeline since he just got pruned? And also, what is Sylvie gonna do with Ravonna? How is she gonna rise to the top? And what was Loki gonna tell Sylvie? And was he gonna tell her some deep dark secret, or was he gonna confess his love for her? I'm not really sure. I expect that we'll find out soon, probably in the next episode. But anyways, guys, do let me know what you think, or what you thought I should say of the episode down below. Leave a comment, keep the discussion going. And as always, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, guys. And I will see you next week for an all new episode of Loki. Well, Friday first for Bad Batch, and then next week for Loki. Until next time, guys, take care and see you soon.